Shalom Aleichem, this is Brother Kobe. I'll make a quick announcement, guys. If you noticed in my previous videos and going to be in the future videos, Kobe ain't got a wedding ring on. Guys, I've been swelling up and gaining weight. My ring just don't fit no more, okay? I'm happily married. My wife's my best friend. We cut up. And I've been eating more, so I guess, I don't know. It just don't fit, okay? I know people, they're going to be talking. Did you see his ring wasn't on? Ooh. Nah, guys. Okay, last week, this particular verse kept showing up. And I just didn't know why. And 2 or 3 days, I kept seeing it from different people. I'm like, what is going on? So I wrote a sermon, and I broke out the Septuagint and the original Greek and other sources I have, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. The verse is Leviticus chapter 26, verse 29. And it says, "And you shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters you shall eat." And I'm like, what? I'm like, why is this happening? And I wrote a sermon. And I go to open it today in documents. I'm going to share this with you. You got to see this. It comes up in a whole different language. I don't know how to fix it, guys. It's an Asian language. I don't know if it's Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and even a little soccer ball showed up in there. And there's a tent. I don't understand it, man. And I wrote Leviticus 26. This is it. It's just in a different language. But guys, I can't make this up. Maybe the devil don't want you knowing this, okay? So I'm just going to go off the top of my head, guys. All right, you got to hear me. And Deuteronomy chapter 28 and Leviticus 26 goes hand in hand. Hand in hand. Deuteronomy chapter 28 is about blessings and curses. Okay? If you obey God's commands and you listen to his voice, you hearken to his voice, things don't go well with you. Right? You're going to be fat and happy, basically. You're going to be the head, not the tail. Your children's going to be blessed. Your land's going to be blessed. But it says if you don't, things ain't going to go so well, guys. Your children are going to be taken away. Your spouse is going to be in another person's arms, and you go down the list. And we can see this is still happening today. How many people you know who lost their children or their spouses in someone else's bed? And guys, because this stuff still applies. It still applies. Okay, God has ordained a certain order for things to go. And we've been going outside of that, and that's what you reap what you sow. Call it karma, call it whatever you want, but you reap what you sow. Now, listen to me. Yes, we're under grace. Yes, it's by faith. We're not under the whole law. We don't kill our children, and we don't sacrifice animals no more. But there's some things in the law that still applies. Okay? So I started digging into this. Why they're eating their children? Is it zombies? These are my first thoughts. What is this? Cannibals, yes, but why? And there's a few reasons it lists in here in chapter 26. But the one that really stood out to me was because they didn't let their land rest the Sabbath year. And if you don't know what that is, please read Leviticus chapter 25. I think it's 1 through 7. So they just kept growing and growing and growing crops and growing crops, and they didn't let it rest, and eventually the crops didn't grow. So there was a famine, right? Because there was no new nutrients and stuff. They just used it all up. And they started eating their children. That was God's judgment on them. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. Guys, God doesn't change, y'all. And he ain't playing either. And I'm going to tell you, this judgment is going to happen here too. I started thinking about why they use fertilizer over here. Because they don't let the land rest. And GMOs and stuff. Because they try to force the land to yield crops. And it's unnatural. And that's why there's cancers and all this other stuff. And this same fate for them is going to happen here. Yes. There will be a famine here. Oh, man. The Lord gave me a dream a few years back. I believe it was the East Coast, between the mountains and the coastline. I saw the cities. And it looked like America looked like a giant landfill. There were buildings laying on its side. There was cars laying on its side. Debris everywhere. It was just like this dust, dirt, stuff everywhere, just covered. It looked like a giant landfill. And there was a cave to the left. And it was like a store, like a trading post kind of. And there wasn't many people there. And I had instant knowledge, instant insight that the people there were cannibals. They were eating people. I just knew it. And things were so bad, y'all. So bad. That the wildlife was leaving America and going into Mexico. This will happen here. It's a famine. And yes, I believe it's Amos talks about there'll be a famine, not of bread, but a famine of the word of God. And I might talk about that too, because I found somewhere else in the Apocrypha that confirms that. Guys, what I'm trying to tell you, these judgments are happening here. Okay? Because we didn't follow God's ways, his laws. The things he ordained, we didn't follow it. And now we're going to pay. Okay? If you have a garden or something at home, you probably should have a garden. You should follow what the scriptures say, about the fruit trees. Don't take the fruit on I think it's the 4th year. I don't remember. Just you read up on it. Let your land rest. Follow God's ways, okay? I do love you. Please go in peace, guys. But things about to get bad, okay? Shalom.